Let's talk love. Today, the discussion we are having is going to a topic and issue that affects many families. Of course, I'm with Professor Herman Manyora, who helps us demystify the issues that affect families, issues of love and unity. And today, Prof, I have a story that I'd like for you to address. There's this woman who has reached out to us. It's a short message. I just read it. It says, I am a woman of 42 years old, married for the last 20. My husband recently informed me that he has a newborn child with a different woman, a younger woman, and that he plans to marry her as his second wife and bring her to my compound in the next year. I have sought the counsel of my brothers and my elderly mother, and they are of the opinion that for the sake of everyone, I embrace this young woman and her child and welcome them into my compound. But I am a modern woman and I'm opposed to that. However, she says, initially I was worried that what I'd tell my grown children were now old enough to start their own families, but now I'm beginning to consider the advice of my family. And she's seeking to hear what the professor thinks about that issue of accommodating a second wife when you're modern, educated, and hanging in the balance, like you say. Not so African, not so Western yet.
You know, polygamy is as old as I think we can go back. It's in the Bible, you know.
It's everywhere. Just not in this woman's mind.
Many cultures have practiced polygamy for centuries. Others still do. Others are transitioning.
To and from it.
Yeah, and actually from it. Very few people are transitioning to it.
Okay.
But it's a very tricky issue.
It is.
It must be very painful to any woman to have to accept another woman into her marriage.
But this man is open. He says, she's there, we have a child, I'm just being open with you and I'm planning to go forward with it.
It's good the man is open, but that doesn't mean the woman is not going to feel things. That's what I'm talking about. But you see, religion, culture, and other practices and beliefs can make it, somebody can accommodate it, can stand it, can even encourage it. You get it? You see in the Bible, it is a wife who tells Abraham to look for another woman.
Sarah does that.
Yeah, and so on.
It doesn't go well for the second woman.
Among some people, even in this country, your wife can bring you the sister.
Yes.
As our co-wife.
Really?
But the woman, I feel for her because she's a modern woman, and it's a very difficult thing to have to accept.
And you're getting pressure from all these sides.
Yeah, but you see now, first of all, we say that's a very, 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 very mature of the man to inform the wife in a way to seek consent. But not to say he has done a good thing.
It's not still, it's not justifiable.
Yeah, this woman is 42, I would assume the husband naturally would be married for 20 years.
Yes.
Can be a kid also. And he must be in the range of those who should set examples. We all talk these things, but practice is different. The woman is facing a very difficult task of having to accept something which inside you know is bad. What is the option? That's what people ask. What is the option?
What options do I have?
Yeah, what option? It's a very stupid thing to say that you can't do something or you can do something because either options are not there or those which are there available are very ugly. But that's the reality of life. The reality of life, we don't always get what we want.
You never dealt the best card always.
Yeah, we don't always. Life is unfair. In a very big way, life is unfair. Because we are sometimes pushed into situations which are ugly. But because of circumstances, because of certain considerations, we are forced to. When it comes to family, it's unfortunate that women are more in this box than men. So I think it's tricky. I think it's tricky, and lucky for this particular situation, people seem to be encouraging the woman that life must continue.
And she seemed to be convinced herself
that life must continue.
Yes, after getting angry now she feels like, maybe I should do it.
It depends on what culture she comes from, what religion. You know, it depends on many factors. There are those who may think they will do it, but they can't. These days, by the way, I listen to people in relationships. I'm not quite a counselor or a psychiatrist, whatever, but I have offered myself to mediate when couples have problems, when lovers have issues.
And you've seen your fair share of this drama. and all this.
Yeah. So I'm speaking from a point of information and experience. It's not a very, very simple thing. Sometimes you accept, but to move forward, even after accepting, can be very, very challenging. So it's the sort of thing I would advise people to take time. See, it has already happened.
Yeah, this woman is coming.
Yeah, it has already happened. She doesn't have to come, but there's already a child. A situation has evolved, has come up, is on the table. My advice is for people to talk about it. Because it's not just the woman saying, yes, I will accept. There are also other considerations. There are financial considerations. There is, if you really must marry another wife, must you bring her to my house? You know, there are many things to discuss.
She's wondering.
It's not just I have to accept as a woman. Yes, I've accepted, or I'm considering it. But then there are other things to be put on the table.
The man says she's
Because if kama wewe umerukaruka inaonyesha wewe unatoshea. If you are paying my rent in Nairobi, pay another rent for her.
somewhere else.
If you put up my matrimonial home, I had something like to my compound. How would you bring another woman to my compound? Because you knew you are capable. You know, these are some of the things, but they are not easy. I have started listening to people. I encourage anybody who has issues, they can reach out to me. We don't charge a lot. It's more like talking to people, giving them, sometimes just listening and offering just even a shoulder, just a listening ear. When I listen to this, most of these things, I think I get more and more convinced that talking
helps.
Opening up works wonders. Secondly, seeking people who can help you. It's very good these people have gone to their parents, you know. You talk to your friends, your parents, you talk to church, or you are imam, if you are Muslim or a sheikh. You talk to people. Talking is very important. Yeah.
And Prof, you've said in a situation like this, it would be good if they were to sit together and discuss it.
Yes. Beyond accepting.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to accept. But the challenge in polygamy is not that a woman has accepted or has not accepted. They are the practical things of life.
It has to happen whether you like it.
Yeah, they are practical things of life.
So I'm asking, in this discussion, if they're sitting to discuss, this woman is saying, I am not so happy. Should the new woman, the second wife, should she also be on that table?
No, at some point.
At some point.
At some point, whether directly or indirectly. Because look here, does your having to bring another woman mean my child will leave Lenana and go to a smaller school?
Because now we have new children to raise,
now,
new priorities, new favorites.
Does it affect our plans? Because we started our family early.
And they send young, these people.
Yeah, we started our family early. We decided to get children that we needed. And 15 years ago, we were done. We are looking at things. We have mortgage. We have what have you.
Now you're going back.
So now that is driving reverse. What implication? How does it affect our vision, our plans, the direction we are taking as a family?
Right.
It doesn't mean you don't do it, or I say no, but it means we have to discuss certain things.
Rationally.
Yeah, rationally. After the emotions have been overcome and we can now talk.
Yes.
It's not very easy to have a woman talk about another woman, unless the culture or the religion embraces it. But even one of my clients now is a Muslim.
And there it's...
So it's not as easy. So this Muslim client is just as what you are saying now. He's trying to talk to me to get the courage to talk to his first wife. But already he has found out from me and from the mother it's not as easy as he thinks to marry another wife.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just that your culture accepts it. For example, in Kenya, Luos it should be automatic. Luos have no problem with it. You try if you are a Luo, you'll see it's not as easy as you think. Everybody will think will think since Muslims accept 4 wives, automatically I'll just work with a girl in the marriage and my wife will accept it.
It's not like
It's
that.
not as easy as that.
Why? But because modern Muslims are more opposed to polygamy, even though it's in their doctrine.
It is the modern woman.
Right.
It's not your ordinary woman of 200 years ago.
She's
more open to things. She understands the world. And sometimes even if it's not a question of ukewenza, what Swahili call ukewenza, polygamy, the feeling a woman has because there's another woman, there are also practical considerations. This guy earns only 60,000 shillings, for example.
How can he feed?
We are barely surviving. And then you bring another mouth of a person perhaps who's not even working.
Another liability. Right.
So those are realities you must discuss. I'm not saying you can't marry just because you don't have money, but I'm equally not saying that if you don't have money, it is so good to marry another wife. No, I'm just saying there's need to look at these things and balance.
And then, Prof, in your vast experience, are there situations today in this 21st century kind of society, are there situations where polygamy is beneficial to both spouses, or the 3 of them, or 4 of them?
You know,
is there a situation like that?
Of course there must be situations. There are even situations where the woman encourages a man to marry. There are situations of childbearing, like the one in the Bible about Abraham and Hagar and her wife, his wife, Sarah. There are situations of terminal illness. I know of a couple. This one not because of my Dr. Love business, but there are people I know as family. If you find you are terminal ill, and modern science can now tell you roughly how long you can live.
Yes, it can.
And you can see your children are young.
They will need a mother after you go.
You can encourage your husband to bring somebody on board when you are still alive, so that you can so to speak, kind of induct her, orient her into the family, bond with the children. So there are situations. Of course, in the olden days, it was about labor in the home. It was about pride. It was about many other things. But today, such reasons are becoming almost non-existent.
Obsolete.
So you can't claim there's a very serious reason today in the 21st century
to get a second one,
which can make a man go for another wife.
Yeah.
Apart from the usual lust, peer pressure, coping from other foolish people like you, there can't be a good reason. Let me be very forthright and don't ask me about myself.
Okay.
Let me just say, I don't believe there can be a reason today strong enough
to get a number 2,
to get another wife. There can't be a strong enough reason.
Well, the first one is still there.
Yeah, there can't be a strong enough reason. It doesn't mean people can't marry and they shouldn't marry. But I'm just saying, looking around with my experience at my age and what I've gone through, what I've seen, there can't be a strong enough reason for a man to want to marry another wife.
All right. Interesting discussion we are having here with Prof. And we're asking, is it good or bad to have?
But before you end, you must also say,
all right,
let women also not create reasons.
They do?
Yeah.
They give you a reason to get.
Just like men create reasons to make women begin doing what they shouldn't have done if their husbands were not doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
So as a woman, you must also know it's your responsibility to make sure your husband feels she has a wife. I mean, he has a wife. You are a complete wife and a mother.
You have to play your role.
Yeah, so if I know, for example, let me give you I don't know whether time is there. Let's go on. Let me give you an example. A real example of a person I know who, because we are close, the young couple, despite advice from me and perhaps others, the girl decides to go to America.
To study, to work.
To leave your family, young family here.
And chase the American dream.
Now, if you came back and your husband has married another wife, or if you engaged into an affair,
that's the most logical.
Who would you blame? You have yourself to blame.
Yourself.
Because look here. I know people, including her, who have good jobs here. Just America, the word America.
The dream.
Is enough to make you leave your husband with children here. Or America. I was talking to one of some of my small boys here in this crew. I must say I was very impressed. Bush, and I asked him, there's a job in Qatar.
He didn't want to go?
No, he said, I want to go. Then I asked him, even with this problem, he said yes.
But Bush is not married.
Then he asked me, it's not about marriage, I'm telling you about considering factors.
Right.
He told me, what are they paying? Ask him, yeah, the salaries are good. Then he mentioned a figure. And he told me, if it is not, I hope it's not this kind of money. Then I said, here is an intelligent man. Because he said, that money I can make in Kenya.
Exactly. Why would I need
So
to go
if you are
to
leaving
that?
your husband here with young children to go in America because you are going to earn 400,000 shillings and you're earning 150 here, then you are just a fool.
You're a fool. You're throwing your life away.
This is just an example. The examples of women who are married to the church.
I think that's a discussion.
We
we should
discussed
have.
it once here.
Yeah, we have.
You are not the priest. You are not the pastor.
But you're always
It's
there.
you who is always cleaning the church. It's you who is going for kesha.
Cooking tea for the pastor
No,
in his house.
I mean, yeah. If you are somebody's wife
Yeah.
and you want to play in church more role than even the pastor,
And you forget the man.
you are in church practically every day. In my place where I come from, when I was growing up, there used to be this thing of sleeping kwa matanga.
Disco Matanga.
No, matanga too. Somebody has died, a relative. People sleep there until the person is buried. People never used to take people to mortuaries those days. Hii kitu ya mortuary kwetu imeanza juzi. So for 3 days, you are a woman, unafunga vitu vyako, where you go and sleep, you need a small sheet or a blanket or whatever it is, you go. You then 3 days, the person is buried. While you are there, another relative dies in another place. You don't even pass home, unaenda straight huko. There were women we knew in my village who practically lived like that.
They were funeral nomads.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
Are you not quoting disaster? So we are saying both male and female, you must make your marriage work.
Make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite something. I think if this lady here hears what you're saying, she'll be able to make an informed decision. No one that's just affected by the family. All right, folks, that's the end of the discussion we've had here on Let's Talk Love. I was talking to Professor Herman Manyora about the issues of polygamy and when a man decides it's time to get a number 2. Until we see you next time, my name is Kimadi.